Following broadcast of Pony Sports on VAC TV is supported by Joseph's Restaurant.
For three, you betcha. Huber looking for five, and she's got
diving
it.
save.
Liza Carlin for three. And it's going to be Bloomquist. What a save! 15, 10, 5. Longo looking to go all the way. She scores!
Dejarno with the block.
Kashek's got him down. That's how you do it. There's a fire, and he just picked his spot. Centering pass, scores!
It's a real horse race today on a sunny, windy afternoon at Stillwater Area High School. The Stillwater Area Ponies, #1 in Class 4A softball, take on the Mounds Mustangs as they continue their quest to reach the state tournament once more. Greetings, everyone. I'm Mike Pete, and he is Pete Winslow. And Pete, Stillwater 16-1. Their one loss coming against Forest Lake, but the numbers they have put up this season, for lack of a better word, flat out ridiculous.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just in the last 4 games here, Mike, 62 runs for the Ponies, and they've only let up 3 runs. I mean, that's unheard of. And so it'll be a real exciting game today to see, a high-powered offense. And, they're not just getting it done by getting runs in. They've had like 5 shutouts this season. So, the pitching and the defense has also been there. So that's huge.
We mentioned Stillwater, the #1 team in Class 4A. We'll take a look at those rankings. Centennial in second. Elk River, that was a team Stillwater knocked off earlier in the season, 1-0 Forest Lake. You see in the 6th position, White Bear Lake. Stillwater beat them in their 2 regular season meetings. So every test Stillwater has faced outside of Forest Lake with that split, they've succeeded. Of course, you never know what happens in the postseason with single elimination in the state tournament round, the section double elimination. But after not having a season, everyone had a chance to play in club ball. But the teams that had strong programs, strong pedigrees, have picked up where they left off. Stillwater, no exception.
Yeah, I mean, they've absolutely hit the ground running, and it's been sustainable all season for them. And it's no surprise they've got a lot of talent coming back to this team, including Allison Benning. I mean, she's been, quote unquote, a workhorse for this team, and it's been fun to watch.
Benning will not start on the mound today. She will start at first base. Kira Murphy will be the starting pitcher for the Ponies, as Angie Ryan and Tom Spencer, the head coaches for the 2 teams, meet to present the lineup cards to the head umpire. So Benning getting a break today, but Kira Murphy has done well when she takes the mound. Benning charged with the only loss of the season, but both of them doing quite well, and that's what it takes in high school. It's good to have an ace with Allison Benning, but Kira Murphy, a reliable support option, if you will. Well, she's a solid pitcher too, so certainly not to discredit her performance, but having that strong rotation goes a long way in this sport.
Yeah, I mean, it can be real tough to ride just one great pitcher, in these high school softball games. And so when you have some depth like that, it can be huge. And beyond the pitching, I mean, we've already kind of alluded to it. I mean, it's the defense also. I mean, they're not letting runs go, which is huge. I mean, they're not winning close games. Most of the time, it's 10-plus runs. I mean, they've had 9 games this season with 10 runs or more. And like I said, they've the most runs they've given up so far is, I believe, 8 in that loss to Forest Lake.
8-5, yes.
Their 1 loss. So, I mean, everything's clicking, and like I said, it's fun softball to watch.
These 2 teams met on April 26th. Stillwater won that game 10-5. That one played at Mounds View. Final week of the regular season. Woodbury and Eastridge are coming up. Eastridge will be a key game. The Raptors not in the top 10 right now, but they played Stillwater close in that first meeting, which we had for you on Valley Access Channels, a 3-1 win, as now the teams take the field. Mounds View will bat first. Here is their lineup. At leadoff, it's Abby Thompson, followed by Ava Bennett, then Macy Hanks, Ashley Branco, Erin Carlson, Clara Gustafson, Emilia Amon, Emma Pagel, and Maya Crable. That is the lineup for the Mustangs, and the flex player is Riley O'Connell. O'Connell, the starting pitcher for the Mustangs. Defensively for the Ponies, You have Amber Scalia at center field, Kira Murphy at pitcher, Allison Benning playing first base, Kat Smetna the catcher, Morgan Wohlers playing shortstop, Gabby Lefevre at left field, Alexis Monti at right field. There's Kira Murphy as we are ready to start the top of the first, and then Taylor Gray at third base, Michaela Koren at second base. That is the defensive assignment for the Ponies to start this game. As you know, each team has a flex player, courtesy runners, so we'll do our best to keep up as the game moves along. Kira Murphy, stats are limited, but does a very good job at preventing runs. As you were mentioning, Pete, this Stillwater team doesn't give up a lot of runs. They did get tagged for 8 against Forest Lake and gave up 5 to Mounds View, but more often than not, they make it really difficult to get earned runs.
Well, you know, Mike, and this Mounds View team is not to be overlooked. I mean, the record's 6-10, but I mean, they're coming in on a 2-game win streak, coming off of a 13-9 win over Roseville. So, I mean, they've got momentum so far here in those last few games, and so, you know, this isn't going to be an easy one for the Ponies.
Mounds View getting the regular season sweep over their district rival Roseville as we get ready to start this game. Murphy takes the mound. Up to the plate is Abby Thompson. She is hitting .415 on the season with 13 RBIs, an OPS of .813. Murphy, the right-hander, against Thompson. First pitch is high, ball 1. As you know, 7 innings. There is a mercy rule of 10, which I believe is enforced after the 4th inning. Second pitch is low, 2-0. And if I remember, Pete, no limit on the number of mound visits.
Correct.
Thompson fouls that one past the third baseline. It is 2-1. We'd like to thank Joseph's Restaurant and Bar for sponsoring this broadcast and all of our sports broadcasts on Valley Access channels. Murphy biding her time. Check swing. Umpire says she went 2-2. Thompson facing a 2-2 count at the leadoff position. Swings at that one, and it's fouled into the Stillwater dugout, or off the fence, that is, so we stay 2-2. Bennett hits that one to left center field for a base hit, and it's mishandled by Scalia momentarily, but Thompson will not advance beyond first. A leadoff single for Abby Thompson. Next up is Ava Bennett. She is hitting .289 on the season. 5 RBIs, OPS 807. She takes the first pitch low, ball 1. Runner on first, 1-0. That one missed the zone, 2-0. High, but in the zone, 2 balls and a strike. Kira Murphy finding that high corner, perhaps. Bennett fouls that one out of play, 2-2. The Mustangs and the Ponies The battle of the horses. That one slices foul. Solid hit there, Pete. Just hooked a little bit foul.
Yeah, you know, it looks like Murphy's finally finding, zoning in. You know, she fell behind in that first at bat early, and then obviously it resulted in a hit. But it looks like she is finding that, that high fastball, like you said. And we'll see how she does here.
And sometimes even it takes Allison Benning a little while to find her location. Here's the 2-2, and that one fouled. Ava Bennett staying alive in this at bat, and this is something I always enjoy when I'm covering baseball or softball, when you get these battles between pitcher and batter. And Bennett fouls another one.
Yeah, I mean, both batters so far for Mounds have done a good job of surviving. Even if they fall behind in the count, they keep the battle going, and it's been quite a few pitches here already, just in this at bat.
And we'll have another one. Bennett fouling off pitches, staying alive. I believe this will be the 8th pitch of the at bat, and this is the chess match. We'll see if that extra effort pays off for Bennett or if Murphy can finish her off. Now it's 3-2. And that is why batters get after it. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss for strike 3. So Kira Murphy wins that battle, slugging through an extended at bat there to get the first out. Macy Hanks now at the plate. Hanks hitting .360. Takes the first pitch for a strike. .360, 17 RBIs, leads the team in home runs with 4, 927 OPS.
I was going to say she's definitely provided the power here for Mounds View this season.
Check swing on that last pitch, goes for a strike. Hanks facing an 0-2 count with a runner on first. Murphy looking for that high mark in the zone, missed it, it's 1-2. And Abby Thompson gets a clean steal to second. Thompson with her 5th stolen base of the season, and Hanks fighting off the 0-2 count, now has a full count.
Hey, Mike, you gotta like that aggressiveness, stealing a base early, getting your runner into scoring position. Just one out, and taking the walk there.
Well, I was gonna say, well, it didn't matter because Thompson would have made it to second anyway, but you do make a good point, especially when you're Mounds View. You're 6-10, you definitely are the underdog. Why not be aggressive against the #1 team in the state? You have to get runs because you know Stillwater's lineup is potent. First pitch chopper to the shortstop, and that will be a ground out on Ashley Branco on the 6-3, but that does advance Thompson and Hanks. So runners in scoring position, 2 out, and Aaron Carlson will try to bring them in.
You know, Mike, underdog or not, I mean, setting the tone early like that, showing that you're going to be aggressive, I mean, that could be huge for a team, no matter what your record is.
Carlson swings and misses on the first pitch, hitting .318 on the season. 9 RBIs. Just a .492 OPS. Doesn't have a lot of power, and she fouls that one away. It's an 0-2 count. Carlson just 2 doubles on the season and no homers, so let's see what happens. That one low and away. Carlson lays off of it. I wonder if some pitchers do that on purpose to see if the batters will go for it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, pitchers want to test the limits, see what they can get away with, and kind of read.
That is ruled a strikeout. The umpire called it a strikeout. I think what happened is Carlson swung and missed. The pitch went off of her, and that is ruled a strikeout because it did not make contact with the bat. So Murphy gets out of a jam, and the Ponies will take their first trip to the plate when we return.
Fancy pants peanut butter?
A big screen television.
You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Bottom of the first. Mounds View went scoreless. They leave runners on second and third. Here is the starting lineup for the Ponies, the batting order that is. Morgan Wohlers will go first, followed by Alexis Monty. Then Allison Benning, Kat Smetna, Kira Murphy, Gabby LaFavor, Taylor Gray, Lily Grundner, and Michaela Corin, Amber Scalia, the flex player, and as we noted before, Riley O'Connell, the starting pitcher for the Mustangs. O'Connell, 2.69 ERA, 5-3 on the season, 81 strikeouts. And O'Connell, an 8th grader, so we've got some youth on the part of Mounds View.
Yeah, she should be good for a long time here from Mounds View.
We certainly hope. Stillwater stats incomplete, but I can tell you this, Allison Benning brings a lot of power. In fact, this entire Stillwater lineup can knock the ball far. We saw a couple of glimpses of that in the win over Eastridge, and 2 years ago in the section final, they were smacking homers left and right. Wohlers fouls that one for a strike. Mike Beaton and Pete Winslow with you on Valley Access Channel, Suburban East Softball. That one fouled out of play and behind the bleachers. So an 0-2 count to Morgan Wohlers. Pete, I hope you've practiced your fielding because I do wonder if we might get a ball coming our way.
I always like souvenirs, so.
Maybe we can use our hats if it comes to it. And Wohlers hit by that pitch, so facing an 0-2 count, she gets knocked and will advance to first on the HBP. So Alexis Monty will have a runner on. Not the start you want if you're O'Connell. Allowing the first batter on base. That pitch is low. Wohlers thought about it. We'll stay at first for now. 1-0 to Monty. High, 2-0.
And as you can see, Mike, no surprise, she's still trying to find her zone here.
High again, 3-0. After her first 2 pitches went for strikes, Riley O'Connell struggling to find the zone. Hitting Wohlers and 3 straight balls to Monty. 3-0 count. 4-pitch walk. And a prime position for Allison Benning. The left-handed batter, the Oregon commit. And we're going to make a change in balls. Riley O'Connell must not have liked the grip or the feel on that one, so she'll get a fresh ball to work with. But great position for Allison Benning. The runners are on. Stillwater has yet to put the ball in play, and they've got runners on first and second. Benning takes the first pitch low, ball one.
I mean, this can be a tough position too for O'Connell early on. You know, you've hit one and walked one, no outs. You got one of the best hitters that you're going to be facing today.
That pitch low. 6 straight balls for Riley O'Connell. The 4-pitch walk to Monty, and now a 2-0 count to Allison Benning. Benning takes a swing at that one, and it fouls into the Mounds View dugout, 2-1. Benning, a multi-sport athlete for a time, played basketball and softball before concentrating on softball exclusively. Low, 3-1, with runners on first and second.
Be interesting to see if Benning's got the green light here, or she might just be patient.
And she gets hit in the back. Looks like she's all right. So Stillwater has loaded the bases without putting a single ball in play. Now in this situation, if Benning goes to first, we have a mound visit. Usually they'll send a courtesy runner. She's getting checked out by the first base coach. We'll see if Stillwater does that here, or if they keep Benning on the base paths. You are allowed to use a courtesy runner. The substitution rules less strict in the high school version than the pros.
Come on, wiggle out, Green, let's go.
And looks like Benning's going to stay on first. And Kat Smetna.
You know, Mike, this was my pick for the X Factor today. She cranked a home run the other day, and, you know, she's proved she's a great hitter. So she's got a big chance here for the Ponies to crack this game open early.
She hit a go-ahead 2-run homer in the win over Eastridge that we had for you back in April. Takes the first pitch for a ball, and O'Connell continuing to struggle with her location.
All right, all the way back, 2, let's go, kid. Come on, 8. Hey, find it, dig deep, have fun.
8 balls in the last 10 pitches. And that was going to be a double play as Smetna flew out right to Carlson, I believe, or Gustafson, but then an overthrow will bring in Wohlers. So Smetna flies out to Gustafson, but a run will score on the throwing error. So an L9, E9 unofficially, and Kira Murphy takes the plate now, takes that first pitch for a strike. So not the at-bat that Smetna was looking for, but the Ponies still get a run out of it.
Yeah, I mean, take them how you get them, right?
Murphy the righty with runners on first and second.
Nice pitch. Oh, great pitch, 8. That's a good place to work. Come on,
1-1. So Stillwater on the board without recording a single hit. And Murphy will have a brief chat with Angie Ryan as O'Connell requests a ball switch here.
You know, it'll be interesting to see how Stillwater approaches these next few at-bats. I mean, obviously you want to get some hits, but, you know, it might not be a bad idea to make her find the zone.
If you've seen Moneyball, the one thing that matters, getting on base. Doesn't matter if it's a walk or a hit. Murphy hits that one, and a running catch, double play, so Mounds View recovers with a fine defensive. No, I thought it was a double play, but Carlson must have left the bag. Still a great catch by Hanks, the shortstop, and O'Connell 1 out away from limiting the damage here. But Gabby LeFevor's at the plate. Great job by Hanks, though. Ball 1 to LeFevor, so Mounds View's fielding helping out Riley O'Connell. And what could have been disastrous. O'Connell 1 out away from giving up just 1 run. Good catch, by the way, Pete.
Yeah.
I was so caught up in that running grab by Hanks.
That away, good job.
That one fouled by LeFevor, and she has a 2-1 count with 2 out, runners on first and second.
Good spot, kid. Keep nibbling.
Inside, 3-1.
Get her, eight.
That one goes high, and LeFevor takes a walk.
Hey, get the third one, Green. Let's go.
So Monty and Benning go to second and third, and the bases are loaded again. Stillwater has put 4 runners on base without recording a hit. Taylor Gray will try to do something with it.
Pretty good pitch one.
Pete, going back to what you were saying, Stillwater, they are still testing O'Connell. They are going to make her work until she finds that zone consistently.
I mean, she's been targeting that upper.
That one gets away. And the Ponies will score 2 runs on a wild pitch and a throwing error. This is one of the stranger first innings I have seen in high school softball.
I mean, you gotta love the alert base running too by Stillwater. I mean, that easily could have been just 1 run, but I mean, they were ready for it. They cashed in on those 2 errors for 2 runs.
The wild pitch brought in Monty, and then a throwing error at the plate allowed Benning to trot home. Stillwater up 3-0, Pete, and they still haven't recorded a hit.
Like I said, I mean, you got to take the runs how you can get them. You know, they've capitalized on Mounds View's errors, and I mean, you look at any sport, if you can capitalize on the errors of the opposing team and turn them into runs or points, I mean, that's huge, especially early on in the game like this, where O'Connell's already pitched quite a few pitches so far.
And it's an extension of what Stillwater is doing. They're not very aggressive at the plate, like you said. They are testing O'Connell, seeing if she can find the zone, and that bet by the Ponies has paid off in 3 runs in the first inning without having to worry about getting a hit. Mounds View, their fielding made a couple of nice plays, almost got O'Connell out with minimal damage, but
I mean,
you'll take it. 3 runs without without needing a hit. Foul ball. That one tipped off the bat of Gray. You were going to say something, Pete?
Yeah, I mean, you go back to those couple of the double plays that they missed out on. I mean, you turn that double play, that one that we thought was safe. I mean, that's 3 outs. You only give up 1 run. That totally different ball game.
3-1. LeFevor's on third base, by the way, in the midst of the mayhem a few pitches ago. And you're right, Hanks couldn't turn that double play into Carlson. Carlson left the bag. That would have ended the inning. Gray hits that one to left field, and it will drop for a base hit. So a bloop RBI single for Taylor Gray. And Stillwater records their first hit. They now hold a 4-0 lead with 1 hit.
Well, you got to figure they were going to get 1 hit here sooner or later.
And it comes on a bloop single to left field. Lily Grundner, the 8th batter in this inning for the Ponies. And nobody at second. Gray alertly makes the steal, will try for third, and that will not work. Gray may be a little too greedy there, but that's okay. The Ponies score 4 runs. They take a 4-0 lead with just 1 hit and some deft base running. Top of the second when we come back.
Fancy pants peanut butter?
A big screen television.
You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
So, but hey, you know, that's a part of batting, you know, having that good eye, laying off those bad pitches. Top of the second coming up. Mounds View facing a 4-0 deficit against the Ponies. Mounds View had runners on first and second, couldn't bring them in. And Pete, as you were saying a while ago, by the way, Claire Gustafson, Emily Amin, and Emma Pagel are due up for the Mustangs. If Mounds View turns that double play when Hanks made the catch, Mounds View gets out of the first inning with just 1 run. Instead, a series of errors and a wild pitch to boot makes it a 4-0 game.
Well, remember, they had 2 opportunities to turn double plays also. And like I said, those are going to be huge. And we'll see if Mounds View's bats can pick up the slack here, kind of bail O'Connell out. But like I said, it's only 4-0 right now. And game's not over, not even close to being over. So
not by any stretch of the means. Gustafson takes the first pitch for a ball. Fouls that one, and it almost goes off the Valley Access Channels van. 1 ball, 1 strike. I hope Ted hired a catcher to field the van.
Or he's got a guy that can get dents out.
Foul to the backstop, 1-2. Maybe our next sponsorship opportunity? 1-2 to Gustafson. Foul ball, we stay at 1-2.
You know, Mike, it'll be interesting to see how Murphy looks here in this half inning. You know, she's had quite a bit of a break. And you know, like we said earlier, she was taking a little bit of time to zone in. Looks like she's found it now, though.
Doesn't need much time there to strike out Gustafson, her 3rd strikeout of the game. And when we were saying Murphy may not be the A-lister that Benning is in terms of name recognition in the softball community, but she's no slouch on the mound.
Oh, absolutely not, as she gets a great looking strikeout right there.
Emily Amon at the plate. Takes the first pitch, lays off, ball 1.
Come on, Em. You can do it, kid.
1-1.
Come on, Ted. Start us up.
Off-speed pitch by Murphy. Amon took the bait. 1-2.
Hey, battle, kid, battle.
Murphy puts a little heat on that one. Amon fouls it off. We stay at 1-2.
I'll be interested to see how much she uses that off-speed pitch. I mean, she's got her way out in front, and she's been bringing the heat so far. So a little change-up might be nice here and there.
Grounder to short. This will be a tough play. And just in time, Wallers finds Benning an impressive 6-3 putout. That was not an easy play to make for Wallers.
No, I mean, from her knees, got the throw. It was a little high, but luckily Benning stretched out for it, got it, made a great catch at first base.
Emma Pagel, the designated player, DH, DP, however you want to call it, swings and misses on the first pitch for a strike. Oh, 2 to Pagel. And I don't think Murphy has any rust after that extended first inning. 3 pitches, 3 strikes, a 1-2-3 inning for Kira Murphy. 4 strikeouts already, and the Ponies will go to the bottom of the second, leading 4-0.
For more than 40 years, Joseph's Restaurant has had your favorite pies and been a can't-miss stop for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But have you stopped in lately to see what's new at Joseph's? A new and improved bar area is great for meeting some friends or watching the game. If you're a little toasty inside, come outside on the patio at Joseph's to enjoy your meal in the fresh Minnesota air. Whether past or present, Joseph's is the place to be, right off Highway 36 in Oak Park Heights. For more than...
Due up for the Ponies at the bottom of the second, Lily Grundner, who made an appearance but did not take an at-bat after Taylor Gray was caught stealing, Michaela Corin, and Morgan Wohlers. And Pete, you mentioned the number of 10-run games the Ponies had, 9 of them to be precise. That included 5 in a row. And most recently, 23-0 over Cretin-Durham Hall. That was the team they beat 2 years ago to reach the state championship. 12-1 over the most recent state champion, Maple Grove. The two teams faced each other in that Class 4A final, and Maple Grove won a close one, but Stillwater, they are on a mission. They are putting out a huge statement to the rest of the field in Class 4A.
Yeah, absolutely, and I can imagine how they got all those runs was not anything close to what they got in the first.
Maybe they did. Maybe they did.
Maybe, but I mean everything is going their way, and they're taking advantage of teams' miscues.
So Grundner takes the first pitch. It's outside and away for ball 1.
Go right at her, right at her.
And you probably don't get 18-20 runs without a combination of strong hitting and deft base running. And another hit by pitch. That is the third hit by pitch charged against O'Connell. And Corin will take the plate. Pete, I've seen some interesting things working MLB, covering Saints, but I don't think I've seen anything like this where Stillwater has just the one hit. That was good for an RBI single from Taylor Gray. But that's it. All the other runs have come on errors or that wild pitch.
I mean, like they say, anything can happen, right?
Corin takes the first pitch for a strike. Corin, the second baseman. Grundner, the designated player. Amber Scalia, the courtesy runner. Amber, the flex player. Of course, you know Amber on the girls' basketball team. I'm sure we'll all anticipating to find out where she goes to play college ball. Corin takes that second pitch for a strike. Got a little bit of a wind gust here at Stillwater Area High School, and let's see if O'Connell can keep up this location. O'Connell tried to nick Corin outside in the zone, but it's too far away. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runner on first. Scalia going for the steal. Throw not in time, but Corin strikes out.
Good job, 2-way to squeeze it. Good player, 12.
So Scalia credited with the steal, 1 out on the strikeout to Corin. And we go back to the top of the order with Morgan Wohlers, who was hit by a pitch. Hits that one, and it goes just out of play for a strike. Wohlers hit by a pitch and scored a run on the wild pitch by O'Connell. She hits that one to left field. Amon doesn't have to trot far to retrieve it. 2 down. And this could be a sign that O'Connell is starting to find her groove.
Yeah, I mean, I think it could be huge too if she can limit her number of pitches she throws. That one was only a couple.
Monty going for the bunt. The throw to first is offline. So the squeeze works out, and Monty will advance to second. Scalia scores. I don't know if that would be a hit or an error. The throw to first was offline as far as Monty, but she advances to second on the throwing error. In any event, it's a 5-0 game.
Like we've seen all game, I mean, the alert base running by the Ponies.
Allison Benning smacks that one for a base hit, and that will bring in Monty. Unofficially, I'll give that one an RBI single because that would have been a tough play, I think, for Carlson to make.
Oh yeah, I agree. There's a lot of pace on that ball.
Right, it went off her glove, but I don't think Carlson made a play on it. And it's 6-0, Stillwater over Mounds View.
You see, she doesn't get home though. She's stuck on first. So we go back to those couple of throwing errors in the previous at bat that got her over to second.
So Benning with her first hit. And now we get Kat Smetna, who lined out. In her first at bat, takes that first pitch for a ball. This can't be an easy thing for Riley O'Connell, an 8th grader going up against an experienced, potent lineup. Smetna smacks that one down the right field line for a hit. Benning will go to third, and it will be a 2-out single for Kat Smetna.
I mean, like we said, O'Connell's been good all season, but you can't discredit, the youth, and it might be showing here, especially like you said. I mean, this Ponies lineup is so potent up and down, and I mean, no matter who's pitching, it's a tough task to get through a lineup like this.
Courtesy runner for Kat Smetna. And it is number 3. McKenna Johnson, who will serve as the courtesy runner for Kat Smetna. Kira Murphy, who has plenty of run support, will try to add to her cause here, and another wild pitch. Benning will stay at third, and McKenna Johnson advances to second.
I mean, it's got to feel good for Murphy, too, knowing that all these runs are piling up for your side, making her job, easier when she gets on the mound.
Murphy fouls that one, and that will drop for a foul. 1-1 with 2 out. Runners on second and third. Ashley Branco couldn't quite catch up to the ball in time. Murphy lined out to the shortstop in her first at bat. Lays off that pitch, 2-1.
Wiggle out of this, come on, kid. Nice pitch, kid. Hey, it's good spotting.
3-1 to Murphy. Murphy, that goes just over the third baseman's head, and that will bring in both runners. A 2-out RBI double for Kira Murphy, and the route is on.
Great contact there, just over the third baseman.
8-0. Another courtesy runner. Stillwater employing courtesy runners all over the place today.
I mean, that's been a huge thing for Stillwater this season, right? Is getting on the board early and then, just stacking up the runs, running away with things before they can really even start.
LaFavor takes the first pitch for a strike. The courtesy runner for the Ponies is Sarah Dollarshole, number 22. She's at second base. That one fouled. 2 strikes. to Gabby Lefevre, who walked her first time up and eventually scored.
Okay, drop it in there, 8. Let's go, kid. Right here. Right here.
Oh! Took a hit to the stomach. Dollarstol has to stay at second, and Lefevre, ouch. She'll go to first. She has reached twice, and O'Connell will head back to the dugout. Tough break for Riley O'Connell. Better days are ahead of her, and coming in for the Mustangs is number 18, Joy Naparella. She will take over for O'Connell, and you got to feel for O'Connell. Just really couldn't get into a rhythm, had a hard time finding the zone, and that can make for a long day.
I mean, that's going to happen with any pitcher, let alone a pitcher who's as young as she is. And like you said, I mean, she's had a solid season so far, and she's going to be with them for a while. So I have no doubt she's going to bounce back.
Well, even the best pitchers, Madison Bumgarner, for example, and the others, they have their tough days too. And Allison Benning has that one loss in the Forest Lake game. So it happens, and O'Connell will try to shake it off. She's got 2 more games left this week, so a couple of chances to turn things around. Now it's Joey Naparella who will try to get Mounds View out of this inning. An inning that closely resembled the first. Stillwater did get a few hits in there. 3 by my count, but a pair of hit by pitches.
You know, during the pitching warm-up here, I've been seeing Lefevre at first for Stillwater, looking like she's moving normally. No after effects of that hit in the stomach there.
And Taylor Gray, the 9th batter in this inning for the Ponies, swings and misses on that first pitch. The Ponies making an entire trip through the lineup. Swing and a miss for strike 2, and this is what you want to see if you're Mounds View. Three pitches, 3 strikes. Mounds View finally ends the inning, but Stillwater puts on another 4 spot. They lead 8-0 as we go to the top of the 3rd.
Fancy pants peanut butter?
A big screen television.
You haven't even brought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles? What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Due up for the Mounds View Mustangs in the top of the 3rd, Maya Crable, Abby Thompson, and Ava Bennett. But it's the Ponies who are flying 8-0. Like you said, take the runs how you can get them, whether they come on walks, hit by pitches, or hits. And Pete Winslow, if you're Kieran Murphy, I think all you got to do is just coast here. You don't want to lay off, obviously, but you don't need to do anything fancy. Just stick to the game plan, for lack of a better cliche.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see your team's up, but, you know, as the pitcher, you still got a job to do. And like you said, you don't want to overexert yourself, but you definitely want to keep your foot on the gas as far as retiring these batters as quickly and as efficiently as possible. Don't want any long innings, even if you only give up a couple of runs. Still want to be 3 up, 3 down if you can.
That was the case for Murphy in the last inning, but again, had to wait. Well, I guess that's what's nice about this level, where you often hit and pitch. You don't have to wait too long, or you don't have to sit around saying, hey, when do I get back out there? We talk about that sometimes.
Yeah, you're still moving, still doing things.
That wouldn't be me. As Crable takes that first pitch low for a ball. One and one. And Crable gets hit. It is a little windy today, but I'm not used to seeing this many players hit by a pitch.
Yeah, it seems like quite a bit so far.
I see Sarah Scalia in attendance. You might see her on that center field cam. Sarah, Amber's older sister. At the plate is Abby Thompson. Walked her first time up, stole a base, but was stranded at third. Thompson laid that off that one, 1-1, even though she made a move to bunt, did not make a motion with her bat. Was looking for that squeeze play. We'll see if she does the same here. Misses that one. Kira Murphy goes high, and Abby Thompson chasing it upstairs. 1-2.
That's one of her bread and butter plays, is that high heat right there, finally zeroing in on it, getting batters to go for it.
That one caught, yes!
What a catch.
A diving catch by Wohlers.
That's the second great play she's had so far today in the field. And it's those kind of plays, you know, obviously Murphy hit the batter the first batter, and that's not the start you want, but it's those kind of plays where your defense can really, you know, bail you out and put your mind at ease getting outs like that.
Ava Bennett at the plate, struck out her first time up, took that first pitch for a strike. That one too far upstairs, 1-1. Well, that last play by Wohlers, microcosm of this game. Mounds View in a similar position couldn't make the catch in foul territory, and that allowed Stillwater to extend that second inning, get 4 runs out of it. A comebacker to Murphy, and the 1-3 for out number 2. Crable does advance to second. Macy Hanks, who knocked in a base hit in her first at bat, will try to do something with it. First pitch high, ball 1. That one goes through for a base hit. So Macy Hanks 2 for 2. Crable held at third as that one skirted just past the catcher. Runners at the corners for Ashley Branco, who grounded out to short in her first time up. Like you were saying, if you're Stillwater, this is what you don't want. If you're Mounds View, this is how you work your way back. Just one run at a time, and first pitch swing will be an RBI single to left center. Wohlers thought the ball was going right. Instead, it went to her left, and she couldn't adjust in time.
I don't know if she was running a second off of that hit and run, maybe. But yeah, just unfortunate for her that went through the gap. And I mean, like I said, Hanks is a good hitter. Just that high fastball again.
Aaron Carlson, swing and a miss for strike 1, struck out her first time up. Mounds View gets on the board, 8-1. That one low, Carlson lays off after showing a check swing, 1-1. We've seen some interesting hitting today from both teams. Mounds View getting it done on small ball as Carlson swings and misses for strike 2, and Stillwater just taking advantage of Mounds View miscues. That one high. Carlson putting the heat on that one, but couldn't find the zone. 2-2. Branco gets just a piece of it, but that's enough to keep it 2-2 and keep the at-bat alive.
And if you're Murphy here, you really want to get this inning over with. I mean, you don't want this to turn into something and escalate real quick here.
You don't want to give the underdog a chance to work their way back. That one high and away. Full count to Carlson. Moundsview already got one run off the single, and that one is fouled. Carlson, I'm not sure she wanted to commit to that swing, but again, keeping the at-bat alive.
Now, she's been really good at this at-bat so far, picking and choosing her spots.
Giving Murphy some trouble, but not that time. Murphy gets her to bite, and Murphy gets out of the jam, giving up just one run, but the Mustangs do get on the board. It's 8-1 as we go to the bottom of the third.
Fancy pants peanut butter?
A big screen television.
You haven't even bought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles. What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Your financial savings, but Stillwater has been feeding the pigs in terms of offense. 8 runs as we head to the top of the third. Due up, Lily Grundner, Michaela Corin, and Morgan Wolders, the same 3 as the last inning. Stillwater sent 9 batters to the plate in the bottom of the second. Mike Beaton and Pete Winslow with you. Joey Naparella on the mound for the Mustangs, and we'll see how she does over a full inning. Came in and got Moundsview out of that rough second inning. Riley O'Connell struggling all day at the mound. What do you look for here, Pete, if you're Moundsview and Stillwater?
Well, I mean, like you said, Naparella came in, looked real good on that one at bat. Got that strikeout, so we'll see if she can. I mean, if you're Moundsview, you want these innings to go quick, or these half innings where Stillwater's at bat. I mean, you can't afford to have any more real long innings. And then I think, on defense for Moundsview, they've got to take care of the ball. As you can see, all these errors have led to so many runs for the Ponies, and from the Ponies, I mean, just keep doing what you're doing. You don't got to be aggressive anymore. And I think that letting them wait on it there. Would be huge for the Ponies. Let them pitch to you. Make them work.
Grundner hit by a pitch in her first appearance, stole second base, and eventually scored. That one got away from Naparella. And then the words of Harry Doyle, just a bit outside. Naparella smiling that off. It happens. Just got to focus on the next pitch. One and 2 to Lily Grundner. I should point out it was Amber Scalia who scored. She was the courtesy runner for Grundner. Scalia stole second and eventually scored for Grundner in that second inning. 1 and 2. And she's hit again.
Have we had one every inning, Mike?
We've had 2 every inning so far by my count. That's the 5th Stillwater player who was hit by a pitch. This time Grundner will stay at first base as she took that one on the shoulder. Seems to shrug it off.
As much as it is fun to get on first base, I got to imagine that is the less fun way to get on first base.
I cannot speak from experience. I have not hit anyone with a pitch, nor have I been hit by a pitch. I'm guessing that hasn't happened to you either.
No, I try to avoid those.
Sacrifice play. Well, it will be another error, and Grunder will advance to third on the error. Charged to Naparella, I believe. So Corum will reach first on what was going to be a sacrifice play, and here we go again. We got a little pump-up music for Morgan Wohlers. Wohlers hit by a pitcher first time up, flew out to left field in the last inning. Runners at the corners for the Ponies, and that one fouled to the backstop. Another sacrifice play. This time, Mounds View gets the out on the 3-4, but it does bring in Grunder, so an sack RBI on the part of Wohlers to make it 9-1.
You know, Mike, I like that play because we've seen all game that they've been missing that throw to first. And so why not test them? You know, we've seen so many plays that could be sacrifice bunts or, you know, infield hits that go for extra things because of the errors. So, yeah, I like that call.
Naparella pitched out that time in case Corum was thinking about going after third. Alexis Monty at the plate walked her first time up, and then I believe got a hit, but eventually scored on an E2 following that wild pitch. 2-0 now, the count to Monty. Monty hits that one to center field. It will drop for a hit and go behind the center fielder Bennett. Corn is waved around, she will score. An RBI double for Alexis Monty. We haven't seen a lot of those hits on the part of Stillwater. Now Allison Benning with the runner on second will go to the plate. Stillwater up 10-1. The next run would put them at the mercy rule threshold. And I can't recall if it's 4 or 5 innings.
Big cut there.
Into the backstop for a strike. Allison Benning hit by a pitch in her first time up and then laced an RBI single in the second inning. She has scored twice. Hits that one foul down the left field line. Remember, Benning's got some power, hasn't needed it today. Oh, 0-2 to Benning. Lays off that one, 1-2. Interesting call there on the part of Benning on an 0-2 count, but make the pitcher work for it. Naparella has struggled a bit with her location in this inning. 2-2. That one going high. And all game long, Pete, Stillwater making Mounds View work. Seeing if they can make plays happen. Benning pops that one, and it will drop down left field for a hit. And then a miscue on the throw in, so Benning will reach second. Monty stays at third, so Benning with a bloop single. Her second bloop. And she'll stay at second for Kat Smetna.
You know, going back to what you were talking about, Mike, I mean, making Mounds View work. I mean, I think that's a great strategy, especially when you can tell early on that their pitchers are struggling to find the zone.
Kat Smetna fouls that one away. Well, it's like you were saying, when the opposing side is struggling to find their mark and struggling to make plays on the field, you don't need to be aggressive. You don't need to take too many risks. Just keep testing Mounds View. And so we've seen a lot of small ball plays as a result. That's The score on the sacrifice, for example, earlier this inning. Benning will get a courtesy runner this time. It's McKenna Johnson. One strike to Kat Smetna. McKenna Johnson on second. And Monty on third. 1-1 now to Kat Smetna, who lined out her first time up and then hit a single last inning. 2-1. Smetna fouls that one to the backstop, 2-2. Stillwater up 10-1. 2-2 with one out. High, and that gets behind the catcher. But Thompson makes a play on it before anyone can advance, so a full count to Kat Smetna.
Yeah, she's been hoping that batters are chasing that high fastball, and Smetna's not biting on those.
Most of the Stillwater batters haven't. Smetna hits that one through for a base hit, and that will bring in both Monty and Johnson. A 2-run RBI single for Kat Smetna. And that will put Stillwater in Mercy Rule range, 12-1. By the way, this is the 10th game of the season that the Ponies have put up 10 runs or more. They have just been flat out dominant, even with that one loss to Forest Lake. Smetna will be swapped out for number 13. Stillwater sitting in just about everybody.
That one high and outside for ball one.
Maddie Johnson taking the place of Kat Smetna that time. And a 2-0 count, if I'm not mistaken, to Kira Murphy. We had an RBI double the last time up. Another high pitch. Naparella having a difficult time locating the zone in this inning. Finally finds it. 3-1.
Another high one, misses there.
Murphy is walked. And another pitching change for Mounds View. And Naparella, tough outing for her on the mound. Looked like she would have some momentum after she ended that second inning, but struggled. Annika Metz will take over. Just one of those days for Mounds View, Pete, where nothing seems to be going their way as far as pitching.
Yeah, I mean, it can be tough, too, when you have a tough lineup. And, you want to locate your pitches where you're not giving them much, but, I mean, sometimes it's tough.
Stillwater had 7 batters in the first inning, went through the entire lineup in the second inning. And Gabby Lefevre will mark the 8th batter this inning for the Ponies. And they've been doing it through some clutch hitting, but I think that first inning, 3 runs came without a single hit.
But now you've seen Benning and Smetna getting that good contact through the gaps. The hitting's picking up here a little bit more. Also some nice bloopers right on the fringe of the outfield for the Ponies.
Well, just because you have a lot of power doesn't mean you need it. Gabby LeFevre has reached twice, once on a walk, once on a hit by pitch, as she takes on Annika Metz, the lefty. Fouled that one to the backstop for strike one.
So yeah, we got a lefty in the house. A little different look here on the mound.
Lefty versus righty in this instance. LeFevre, I think, tried to sell this ball there, but that hit the zone.
It was a good attempt.
LeFevre tried to make it look like she was off the mark. LeFevre grounds that one to second. And 2 down. Maddie Johnson almost overran third base. So Taylor Gray with 2 out and runners on second and third. Dollarshole running in place of Murphy once more, and Maddie Johnson running in place of Kat Smetna. 1-0 to Taylor Gray. Gray hits that one to center, just outside the infield. That will drop for a hit. Gray will dig for second and not beat the throw, but Gray does bring in both Maddie Johnson and Dollarshole, so officially it will be a 2-run RBI single, and the Ponies lead 14-1 going to the top of the fourth.
Years, Joseph's Restaurant has had your favorite pies and been a can't-miss stop for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But have you stopped in lately to see what's new at Joseph's? A new and improved bar area is great for meeting some friends or watching the game. If you're a little toasty inside, come outside on the patio at Joseph's to enjoy your meal in the fresh Minnesota air. Whether past or present, Joseph's is the place to be, right off Highway 36 in Oak Park Heights.
Fitting song choice as we get ready for the top of the fourth, because Stillwater has been on unprecedented levels today as far as their run output. 14-1, 6 runs in the bottom of the third. Due up for the Mustangs, Clara Gustafson, Emily Amann, and Emma Pagel. Pete, I think we're running out of superlatives to describe Stillwater at the plate today.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an offensive showing here. You know, used to what we've seen with this team. And they're getting runs all ways. I mean, it's been fun to watch, and you know that's what's led to their success. I think all season is, you know, it's not just relying on the long ball or relying on small ball or, you know, sacrifice flies. It's every which way. You know, these Ponies are getting runs across the home plate. So.
And Kira Murphy is loving it. She's only given up 1 run, and Gustafson fouled it. I think she fouled it off of the catcher's helmet on Smetna. If it did, Smetna showing no signs of wear.
Might have caught the ump too.
And that's why they wear the protective face gear. One and one to Gustafson, who struck out her first time up. So barring something weird, the Ponies look like they'll pick up their 17th win of the season, and given their rankings, they'll probably get the 1 seed in their section. 3-1 to Gustafson. And if they make it through to the state round, which they have a good chance of doing, they could very well earn the top seed. Their only loss to Forest Lake, another top 10 team. And the closest team they've played in the rankings, Elk River, they beat them 1-0. So if Stillwater makes it to the state tournament round, the coaches seeded, of course, Stillwater could be in position to capture another state title. They last won it all in 2018. Gustafson pops that one foul and scooped up by Smetna for the out.
You know, what we've seen all season long, it's a little odd to hear about a 1-0 game the Ponies have been a part of.
But that is another testament to their talent. Yes, they've gone up big a lot. Today, no exception. But for the most part, in close games, they've gotten the job done too, as Amon takes the first pitch for a strike. And how often in baseball and softball, your record in one-run games, how often does that get referenced? That's the sign of a team that can close out versus a team that is on the precipice, perhaps. 1-1 to Amon.
Well, like we've alluded to before, I mean, it's the defense too. I mean, has been stellar all season, including the pitching. I mean, you don't get the record you do with just bats alone, in my opinion. And that's what the Ponies are doing. They're firing on all facets today and this season. So
2-1 to Amon, and remember, Stillwater doing this with the new coach. Bob Beadle left after the 2019 season. 2-2 to Amon following the foul. Angie Ryan took over. Angie with plenty of experience, though. We had a chance to talk to her, and we aired that interview on Valley Access channels. We hope to bring you a few more toward the end of the spring season. Full count now to Amon. But it goes back to what I was saying a few days ago with lacrosse, and a lot of these teams that had been strong before the pandemic put everything on hold last year walked to Amon on the full count. The teams that have been there, yeah, they lost a season, but they don't forget what got them there. In the case of Stillwater, they knew Benning was going to come back for one more year.
yeah, I mean, it's really nice to see that, you know, a team like Stillwater has picked up really without missing a beat. I mean, you know, that whole shutdown could have really thrown things out of whack for a lot of teams, and you know, Stillwater has proven that hasn't really affected them.
Emma Pagel with an 0-2 count. She struck out her first time up. And I talked to coaches briefly in the last game, and some were able to play their club seasons. Last summer, we were able to get that in. A swinging strikeout for Emma Pagel. Murphy's 6th of the game. And runner on first, 2 out for Maya Crable. So it's not like the athletes just sat around all summer with nothing to do.
Right.
They got the reps in, but again, they lost an entire spring season. Everyone trying to navigate the pandemic. That's not easy to do, but the programs who are strongest, as Crable takes that last pitch, 1-1 count. All of that intuitive information, that carries over, even if you do skip a season. 1-2, and a throw to first. Amon looking there. No one was sure what to expect when spring sports started up, but we can expect Crable to be caught looking. And strikeout number 7 for Keira Murphy. The Ponies go to the bottom of the 4th with a 13-run lead.
You think getting dumped by text is harsh? Try getting dumped by a tennis ball. My ex-owner drove me out to the woods, yelled fetch, and by the time I brought the ball back, he was gone. But the folks at the shelter helped me let go of my anger. I learned coping skills, like taking it to the hole. Boom! Now I'm ready to fetch again.
Me and my boy Matt had it good. He had catnip that was off the hook. But one day, he brings a girl home, and she's allergic to cats. Every sneeze was a nail in my coffin. Now I'm in a shelter. It's decent, but they don't even have Wi-Fi.
Due up for Stillwater in the bottom of the 4th, Lily Grundner, Michaela Korn, and Morgan Wohlers again. And that's because Stillwater set 9 batters again in the bottom of the 3rd inning. They lead 14-1 over Mounds View.
It's a pretty good game plan if you can get all 9 batters through every inning.
Probably not something you draw up when you come up on game day. I don't think you plan to send 9 batters to the plate every inning. But Stillwater taking advantage of Mounds' few miscues, whether it was pitching, fielding. They've mixed in a few hits in there too, and just a textbook performance from the Ponies. Their 10th game with 10 runs or more, and another signal to the rest of the Class 4A field that if you're going to win the championship, well, Stillwater has to get through their section. And Eastridge gave them a run. That could be a team to watch, and Grunder gets hit in the helmet, and she has reached base 3 times, all 3 times because she was hit by a pitch.
Like I said, that goes back to the whole getting on first is fun.
But not like that.
3 times. I was just saying once, but let alone 3 times. But
I'm going to go out on a limb and say the most you and I have ever been hit by a pitch was once.
Right.
Am I correct?
Let alone 3 times in the span of
3 innings.
Right.
Strike 1 to Michaela Corin. Lily Grunder might file for hazard pay after this one.
I bet she's looking forward to getting a hit next game.
Corin hits that one foul. Yeah, what is the record? How did your game go today? Well, I got hit 3 times. Or it's like, did you get any hits? It's like, no, but I got hit 3 times. What would that conversation be like?
Hey, like we said, get on base however you can.
Doesn't matter if it's a walk or a hit? No, but Lily Grunder might have a couple of bruises. Corin hits that one down the left field line. It will drop for a hit, a bloop single. And runners on first and second. Annika Metz running into trouble, and this has been the story no matter who the pitcher is from Mounds View. They just can't seem to string together a series of outs and keep these innings short.
I mean, this is the 2nd or 3rd time we've seen Stillwater find that, soft pocket of area, just outside the infield. And, that's going to be a hit every time. I mean, you can loop it over the third baseman right there. I mean, it's perfect.
I think it was Dollarshole coming up in place of Wohlers now, but I think it was Oliva who said hit him where they ain't when he had that tremendous season with the Twins. That one a foul. That one a foul. Everyone go back. It bounced behind the plate, then bounced back. The umpire ruled it foul, and it's 2 strikes to Dollarshole. This is her first at bat of the game. I don't think you need to put Wohlers out there. You're going to say something, Pete?
No, I mean...
Oh, I'm hearing things. Well, I heard that.
We're going to get one of those sooner or later, Mike.
Well, maybe if you and I call a section game, we'll see what happens today, but maybe in a section game we might get one. We'll see, of course. Pay attention if we do any postseason coverage. Dollarshole strikes out. And 1 down. Follow us on social media at Valley Access Channels on Facebook and Valley Access TV on Twitter if we do provide postseason coverage. We talked about this last week. Well, you weren't here, Pete, but as Maddie Johnson takes the plate for her first at-bat, we could get 4 Stillwater teams at least in the state tournament, all playing in the span of a week. Baseball, softball, and both lacrosse teams.
That doesn't sound like a busy schedule at all.
No, and that one rolls just past the pitcher, but still a ground out, so Maddie Johnson will be taken with a 6-3. Runners go to second and third. And that will bring up McKenna Johnson, so Angie Ryan pulling out her starters here. Makes sense. You don't need Benning or Wohlers. There's nothing to gain in this situation. McKenna Johnson with a chopper to second. And the first pitch swing, first pitch ground out, so Mounds View gets out of the inning. No runs allowed, but they still trail 14-1 as we go to the top of the 5th.
fancy pants peanut butter?
A big screen television.
You haven't even brought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles. What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
Due up for the Mustangs. Barring changes, no, it doesn't look that way. Thompson, Bennett, and Hanks, Mike Beating and Pete Winslow with you. Top of the 5th, so unless Mounds View scores, I think they'd have to score at least 4 runs to extend the game. But we were saying a busy week. Well, Ted and I are used to that in the spring because, a couple of years ago, you had baseball and softball make it to the state tournament. Girls lacrosse did the same thing. So we're used to lengthy postseason runs.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thompson takes ball 1 on that high pitch. The one difference this year would be a change in venue in regards to state sites. Again, a lot of that having to do with pandemic scheduling. Strike 1 to Thompson, 1-1. In the case of baseball, the Saints have a different affiliation now. But we'll make it work, whatever the postseason picture looks like. I know this much. If you're watching this on demand through YouTube or Channel 15, 2-1 to Abby Thompson. The section finals for Stillwater would be at McKnight Field at North St. Paul, where they were 2 years ago. Thompson hits that one down the right field line, and it is gone. A solo shot to lead off the top of the 5th.
I was going to say, for Murphy here, it would have been good for her to get an efficient out, close this game out, but gave up one there. Can't worry about it too much, a game like this. Good solid contact, though, on that home run.
The first of the season for Abby Thompson. And if you're Mounds View, whatever happens, whether or not you come back, that's why you keep going after it. Today it's a home run. Maybe the next game it leads to something bigger. So that makes it 14-2 for Ava Bennett. And she gets that one past second base for a base hit. So back-to-back hits for the part of the Mustangs, and they're looking to build a rally.
Can say the bats are coming alive now.
That's Bennett's first hit of the game. Macy Hanks has singled twice. Look out! Woo. That one went through the gate. Clara Gustafson was looking at Macy going, hey, watch it.
Wow.
That one almost hit the youth players, and that carried some velocity. I'm just grateful no one got hit with that. Would have left a welt. 1-1 the count to Macy Hanks. Well, that was the kind of foul ball that will make you pay attention. 1-2 to Hanks.
That's right.
Macy Hanks with the runner on first. Lays off that one, 2-2. Mounds View would need to score at least 3 more runs, if I'm not mistaken, to extend the game. Otherwise, the game will end after 5. That's how the Mercy Rule threshold works.
You can see they're feeling it now. They're pretty much greenlit on every pitch here for the most part.
2-2 to Hanks. Grounder to second. 4, 6. No, not quite. So Hanks will reach first. No double play. Bennett thrown out at second.
Solid defense there by the Ponies, but good job by Hanks legging it out to beat the throw.
And that brings up Ashley Branco, who fouls it to the backstop. Branco with an RBI single for last time up. Tips that one foul, 2 strikes. Runner on first, 1 out, 14-2, Stillwater over Mounds View. As the Ponies look to lock up the #1 ranking in the state. That one fouled and bounces off the Stillwater dugout. We stay at 0-2. Grounder through the middle for a base hit. So Branco with a pair of hits, and Aaron Carlson.
No surprise there. We saw her last time get some great contact, and that one drove it right up dead center.
And we should point out Stillwater swing and a miss, strike 1. Stillwater making several defensive substitutions, sending in their reserves to try to finish out this game. Strike 1 to Carlson, runners on first and second. That one high, 1-1. Carlson 2 strikeouts. And that one caught by the first baseman, Gabby Lefevre. Who's taking over for Benning at first, so 2 out, and Clara Gustafson at the plate. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Gustafson 0 for 2, a strikeout and a pop-out. Some of the substitutions you saw Lefevre with that last catch, Lily Grunder at second base. There's a grounder to Grunder, and that will put an end to the inning, and I believe an end to the game. (14-2) the final. We'll wrap it up when we return.
Fancy pants peanut butter?
A big screen television.
You haven't even brought a sofa yet. A motorcycle? When your father finds out, he's gonna flip his shoes with 2 buckles. What do you even need 2 buckles for? Mr. Big Shot, buying whiskey shots for everybody in the bar. From the looks of it, I'd say nobody even remembers. Feed the pig.
The bad news, if you were Keir Murphy today, you gave up a couple of runs. The good news is your offense knocked in 14 runs. Stillwater beats Mounds View 14-2 and moved to 17-1 on the season. Mike Peden and Pete Winslow with you. Pete, Mounds View made the job easy for Stillwater as far as hitting was concerned. Mounds View all game long struggled to find the zone. Several hit by pitches, walks, a few throwing errors, and Stillwater taking advantage of those miscues. And outside of the couple runs Keir Murphy gave up, a strong performance on her end.
Yeah, I mean, I think the game just kind of got away from Mounds View. They kind of put themselves in a hole early. And, you know, credit Stillwater as well for realizing that they had them where they wanted them right in that first inning with the errors, and they capitalized, moving their runners over, taking advantage of all of those miscues. I mean, and that's how they got the game wide open. I mean, they didn't get a lot of hits. They didn't hit the long ball. I mean, it was all kind of odd, but at the same time, I mean, that's how the game was going, and that's what they capitalized on. And then, I mean, they busted it wide open, you know, in the next few innings. So, I mean, good on Stillwater for, you know, getting it done the way the game was kind of flowing for them.
Some highlights include Kat Smetna and Taylor Gray with 2-run RBI hits, Allison Benning with a double, Alexis Monty getting an RBI double. So some of the bright spots, Lily Grundner will probably look for some aspirin. She got hit by a pitch 3 times, but as you were saying all game, Pete, the important thing is you score, you make the most of it no matter how those opportunities come.
Yeah, and then it was nice, like we said later on, the bats kind of came alive. You saw Benning and Smetna drive some balls through the gaps. And then we saw a couple, bloop into the shallow outfield. And so, the hits did come later. And then, like we said earlier, Murphy had a great game. She gave up that 1 home run, whatever. And she struck out quite a few. So, it was a complete game. Offense, defense, base running, you name it. Even some of those catches by Wohlers. I was going to give her the Gold Glove Award today because she made some great defensive plays. So, like I said, you love to see it, and Stillwater keeps rolling.
And before we go, we'll add that Kira Murphy did pick up 7 strikeouts. So a fine day for her and a fine day for the Ponies, who come away with a 14-2 win to start the final week of regular season play. For Pete Winslow and the rest of the Valley Access Channel's crew, I'm Mike Beaton. Thank you for watching High School Softball on VAC TV.
The preceding broadcast of Pony Sports has been supported by Joseph's Restaurant. Thank you for watching VAC TV Sports.